The Pop Culture Master Race.
Does mother know you wear it for drapes?
All your pop culture needs. And here are your hosts, Aiden Munga and Brett Page.
Hello and welcome back to the PCMR podcast. That is Pop Culture Master Race. We are joined again to talk about movies, TV shows, sad stuff, happy stuff, boring stuff, and trailers. As always,
But
I'm
by
your
boring stuff, do you mean this whole show?
this whole show. Yeah.
You're not going to get entertainment here, folks.
No. This is just two idiots talking some bullshit.
Yep.
Speaking of those idiots, my name is Aiden Mungai, and as always, I'm joined by Brett Page. Hello.
And if you look very carefully, if you're on YouTube, you can see Aiden's girlfriend in the corner.
Yeah, wave. Lady. No? Give a wave to the window. All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's just get straight into it because it's late and I'm tired. So
Yes, Aiden has been cleaning all day.
I have been-
sending me pictures, and it is crazy how much he's been
Yeah.
cleaning.
I'm having an autumn clean since we're in the southern hemisphere. It's not a spring clean.
We'll call it an American spring
American
clean.
spring clean, yeah. So much of the shit that we rely on is American anyway, so
Might as well just sync up with the seasons.
might as well. So let's start off with some sad news before we get into all the other stuff. We're going to pay respects to Eric Bousfield. I believe I'm saying that right. If
Good
you're
work.
wondering who that is the voice of Admiral Akbar from the Star Wars series. He has passed away at age 93. And we thought we should just have a little moment of respect for one of the greatest memes from Star Wars, Admiral Akbar, and It's a Trap.
It's a trap. Yes,
There's-
I was reading an article about him when he passed away because, that's what you do.
Yeah, you know.
I guess. And apparently he worked at a radio station as a radio presenter for about 31 years. And
That's great.
It was through that he met the sound designer for the original Star Wars. And the sound designer for the original Star Wars just thought it will give him that role. So, fun fact.
That's great. Yeah, no, I mean, not the most important character from Star Wars, but definitely one of the most memorable. I will forever miss that fish-faced man. He was wonderful.
It most certainly was a trap.
Yeah. Do you want to do a quick impression just to set him off like, right?
You can.
It's a trap! It's a trap! I don't know.
It's a trap. I don't know. I'm bad at impressions.
All right, we'll let the listeners decide who was worse. The answer? All of us.
Nothing went well.
Nothing went well at all. But things are going well for some other people. Brett, why don't you inform us about what's going well for those Amell boys?
Yes. Stephen and Robbie Amell. You may know Stephen Amell from being Oliver Queen / The Arrow in, CW's Arrow. And Robbie Amell, who happens to be his cousin,
Yeah.
who plays Ronnie, don't remember his last name.
Raymond.
Ronnie Raymond.
It's comics.
Fire-
It's all alliteration. Yeah.
Yeah. Or Firestorm in the Flash
Yeah.
series.
The first
So-
Firestorm.
Yeah. So so far they've created a 10-minute short film called Code 8. Mm-hmm. And they've also released an Indigo campaign to try and fund making it into a feature film.
Yeah, I just watched it because I'd seen bits and pieces about it. I saw like a trailer, but I hadn't watched the actual short film. I didn't quite know what it was at first, but it's real good, actually. Like,
Yeah, it's 10 minutes long, and the whole premise is that it's in a world where 4% of the population is born with like superhuman powers. But at the same time, they kind of it really touches on topics of racism, really.
yeah, like
it's
the
like-
whole short, it's about Robbie Amell and his actually probably the best acting I've seen from him.
Yeah,
in a
I've
while,
seen a
like-
lot from him, but he was good in it.
I think it was a good choice for like Stephen Amell to like step back a bit and just do voice work for this short film because his
Stephen
acting
Amell,
takes a lot to get used to.
Stephen Amell has said that in the full feature film, I will be in it. It's just that I have a crazy schedule right now going between Arrow and Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough. But yeah, I think Robbie Amell is, if I had to choose which one was the better actor, at least in this short film, he was doing really well. So yeah, it touches a lot on like elements of like day laborers, and like it's not so much like a superhero thing, but it's kind of like powers as a metaphor for race, really.
Yeah, I can see having a lot of those political undertones that relate to our world, just by how it talks about how, you know, these people with powers are treated in their world, and we look at it and we can feel like, well, this is exactly how, you know, the African Americans are treated in America right now, and all this other stuff. So a lot of political undertones, and I can see it having a big cultural relevance.
It reminds me a lot of District 9. Like, that's the vibe I'm getting from it. Like a more kind of more powers focused than Aliens kind of District 9, which, you know, I'm always happy for more. I love my sci-fi to have like a message. I like it to actually like be talking about something, like, you know, laser swords and space wizards is fine for if you want to have some fun. But if we're going to talk like some serious hard sci-fi, get that message out there. Have something to say.
Yeah, well, it seems like this film definitely has something to say about like racism and police brutality even.
Yeah.
So check it out. Look at their Indiegogo. If you like it, donate some money. I mean, they're already like 300% funded. They're up to $600,000 now.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
But, you know, the more money they make, the better the final product will be.
Hopefully. And even if, you know, you don't want to donate anything, at least watch the short film, because I can definitely highly recommend it. It's real good. I liked it.
It's definitely worth 10 minutes.
I'd definitely watch like a full feature film of that, you know, hoping it kind of sticks to that level of quality.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Watching this and thought, this is good. Because, you know, they were like the executive producers and, you know, they're actors. It could have been bad.
Yeah, like there have been some actor like fan projects that have turned out pretty horrible, but you know, these days we get some good stuff from people. So good on those Amel boys. Yeah,
I mean, it's still, you know, we can't really say what the final product will be, but if it's the same quality as this 10 minutes we saw.
Yeah, we can only talk about the short we've seen, and I recommend that. I give that a thumbs up. I'd rate it a good, solid 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree.
I recommend it.
Now, moving on to more new things we've seen.
Yeah, speaking of superheroes and powers and set stuff, Doctor Strange, we've seen some new set photos from there, and we've gotten our first look at Mads Mikkelsen as a yet unnamed villain. He's got kind of crackly, cracked up eyes. I think there's going to be some CGI, something put over there, but you know, it's looking a lot like The Waters of Mars. Did you ever see that Doctor Who episode?
No.
Well, yeah. On that, like they have like people have like cracked up mouths and stuff. Like it's really dry, but it's got like water coming out of it. It's like real gross and cool looking. So,
well, that's exactly what I thought looking at these pictures. Like that's kind of gross, but kind of cool looking.
Yeah. That is Mads Mikkelsen's specialty because, you know, from Hannibal, like, oh, you're eating people. That's kind of gross. But the way he's cooking it is kind of cool. So the Mads Mikkelsen specialty. Also, you know, we get some better looks at obviously the titular character, Benedict Cumberbatch, is Doctor Strange, kind of running around New York City. I think these were like the final couple of days of shooting. So I think they've wrapped shooting now. So these were just last couple of pickup shots, I guess. Also, we're seeing a little bit of a person whose name, like Chiwetel Ejiofor. That's how you pronounce it. I was just trying to remember in my brain because... yeah, we've seen more of their costumes and some other like random characters kind of jumping around in the background. So, hey, you know, more superheroes in New York, a goodness.
Yeah.
It's Marvel. It's all in New York.
There was one little video that came out that I've seen so many people making fun of and making memes out of. The one that they kind of running and they do a little jump and they keep running. I'm like,
the two best ones I've seen have been where like they've inserted him into like the Civil War, like Captain America side running. But like instead of making him fly, which I would have done, you know, if I was going to insert him in there, to kind of just have him like skip, jump, and like, oh, I'm a part of the team, hooray! And another good one I saw was like they put the soundtrack to West Side Story to it, so it's like,
yeah. I'm just like, I hope people are aware they're going to CGI that to look awesome.
Oh yeah, it's pretty obvious, like
I don't think many people
realize because half their jump is like, I'm being awesome, and then I'm fucking falling. Oh shit! Oh,
I don't think many people realize that how dumb these actors actually look when they're filming these fucking things.
Oh yeah, you look super dumb, especially if like you're doing anything where you're wired up to something, and like because then you're hanging around on a wire, going like, oh, okay, guys, cut me down. Yeah, I can do another take.
I saw an interview with someone. I actually don't even fucking remember who the interview was with or what movie it was about. And they're like, oh, what was the hardest thing about this scene? And it was a scene with a CGI character. And she was like, the hardest thing was talking to a broomstick. and trying to have an emotional connection to a broomstick.
Yeah. Like, I think that's what James Gunn did well with like Rocket Raccoon and Groot, was like they actually had someone on set as like a reference point. So like they made like a proper Groot head so the actors could actually talk to that. And Sean Gunn, James Gunn's brother, was like the on-set Rocket Raccoon. So he actually helped like come up with some of the lines. Like I think in that scene where they all stand up, he comes up with that line where it's like, all right, you happy? We're all standing in a circle. Big dumb idiots. So that was...
Yeah. Then again, Bradley Cooper did nail the role.
Oh, he was real good in it. But you know, got to give credit to Sean Gunn. He did real well.
He came up... That was obviously a good line he came up with. Just, you know, Bradley Cooper, obviously being the amazing actor he is, brought life to it.
And we'll be mentioning him briefly, I think, later when we talk about trailers, because he shows up in one. Yeah,
for like a frame.
For 1 second. But you know, anytime he pops up in a film, I'm like, oh, I'll watch that.
I am never disappointed to see Bradley Cooper.
B Coops is in this. I'll watch that. I don't think anyone calls him B Coops. That's mine. Trademark. B Coops. We've been talking a lot.
Like you're an old mate having a beer together. Hey, how's it going, B Coops?
Yeah. So that's enough like set photos, and let's get into some real nitty gritty boring stuff, some statistics or box office news.
It's always I like the statistics. I'm always one
good.
who
This time it's really interesting because, you know, this is one of the most anticipated films of the year. Batman v Superman.
It is currently made $700 million in the worldwide box office,
and that's a whole bunch of money. Like, its opening weekend was one of the best for any superhero film ever. I think that was mainly due to like pre-sale tickets and stuff. I mean, it's Batman and Superman fighting each other. The pre-sale tickets in the first weekend was always going to be good, but some of the interesting stuff is the drop-off that this film has had. If you look at it from its like Friday or Thursday to Sunday drop-off, it was pretty much, I think it was like 81% drop off. 81.
So from the first week sales, the statistic I said from the first Friday to its second Friday, there was an 81% drop in ticket sales.
I'm thinking of Friday or Sunday, that was a 41% drop off. But yeah, this one that we've just seen now, from its first Friday to the Friday that just passed, 81% drop off in ticket sales. So, and really, you have
this kind of rolls into the next story. We'll get into that, but Warner Brothers are kind of saying it's not worrying us.
Yeah,
but when we get into the next story, you can kind of see that it kind of is worrying
just a little bit. And you could like try and say a little bit that maybe, you know, planning those sort of things would have taken a while, but we'll get into that in a bit. But yeah, just the drop off that this film has had has shown that, like, where fans have been saying like, look at all this money it's made, critics don't mean shit. Like, well, obviously they mean a little bit, because if word of mouth is like, if you ask your friend to say, hey, should I go see that Batman v Superman movie? And your friend says, no, then...
I know that I've turned people off seeing it. My sister wanted to see it, but doesn't anymore. My
I've told people not to see it. I tried to tell my brothers not to see it, but they were like, nah, we've got to make up our own mind, which, you know, fair enough. And then they got out of it and like, I was kind of boring. I'm like, yeah, I tried to tell you.
And it's just been so hard trying to convince people not to do it. Like, no, save yourself the pain.
Honestly, it really is one of the like most divisive films where like some people, like fans, have been like, I loved it, it's amazing, but most people have been just like, it's trash, it's garbage. But you know, and other people saying like it's just a film, which is probably the most like level-headed response to it, is like, it is just a movie. But
yeah, at the end of the day, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter.
In the grand scheme of things, it is just a movie.
For people who have been thinking about this movie for 3 fucking years,
yeah,
kind of, you can understand them being angrily disappointed.
If you try and avoid the hype was there, and it did affect me, and that really did affect my viewing of it. Like, for some people, like, it hyped them up so much that they can't see the bad, and like, hooray, it was so great. But me, all I could see was the bad, and you know. And I thought about it, and I think it really is the third act that I don't like. The first act, like, I've thought about it a bit more, and I'm like, you know, it's got some problems, but it is like pretty solid and like what it's setting up. And there are little character interactions that do answer some questions here and there, but it does fall apart, and it is just so long-winded and trying to take itself so seriously. And yeah, but anyway, enough about that. The ramifications of that film are what are interesting because
Yeah, in our next story.
Suicide Squad are doing some reshoots to add more humor into the script because apparently this is a rumor that was floating around. I think I can't remember which website. Well, I don't know. Maybe Brett can like flash up like who it is.
A website.
Yeah. But yeah, they said that all the jokes that were in the movie were in that second trailer.
Yeah, which is never a positive sign.
That's not a
We
positive
always
sign.
say that.
No, that's like if you're selling your movie as like, well, it's pretty funny, you know, you're gonna have a good time, and then like all the jokes you've shown them to us already, like people are gonna be kind of pissed. So I think on one hand, like, yeah, this might be just like because they got like a better reaction to the second trailer with all the humor and stuff that they're like, oh shit, people are expecting a funny movie, and this might be even a reaction to Deadpool where they're like, oh shit, we need to add some more humor into this. People like dark comedy.
I think it's been a combination of things. I think it's been a combination of the quite positive response to the humor and the silliness and whatever in the trailer. Maybe the poor critics' reaction to the Batman v Superman, and maybe the positive reaction to the humor in Deadpool. So maybe it's some combination of all those three things that have made them think maybe we'll add some more humor. People will like this.
Yeah, look, I'm going to take this as a positive because films go and do reshoots all the time. Like they realize, like in editing, they're like, this film needs something more. Like, you know, it could be that because this is, you know, it would take a while to plan all these reshoots and get contracts back and get actors back and put them in makeup and stuff, that maybe, you know, this isn't quite a reaction as people are thinking to just because people thought Batman v Superman was very humorless.
Maybe it's just a coincidence.
Maybe it's a coincidence. It could be more the Deadpool effect, or it could just be like an internal thing where they're watching the film and they're like, this should be funnier. This, like, we should be having more fun with this. Or it could even, like, it could be like the first thing where internally people have seen like Batman v Superman and gone like, oh, fuck, this isn't funny. And like before, audience reactions.
If you remember, we reported a story a while ago saying that Warner Brothers, before releasing Batman v Superman, was saying they're kind of worried about it.
Yeah, but that was like them being worried maybe it's too smart for Marvel fans, and now Marvel fans are seeing it going like, you thought this was smart?
This should be dumb.
What's wrong with you? It's idiots in capes punching each other and then not punching each other because they have mothers who have the same name.
Yeah, and
So
we're seeing all
smart.
these.
It's so smart.
Honestly, if anything's good came from that movie, it's the memes.
Oh, so many memes.
I
love the
and
Marvel
I'm so
one.
disappointed that we live in a society that something bad can happen and the positive is memes.
Yeah, that is like, we are trash, living in trash. But I think my favorite one of those has been the Marvel one where it's like, Steve and Tony talking is like, your best friend's name is James? My best friend's name is James. Civil War ended. Like,
Yeah. So anyway, here's a story that I forgot to put in our run sheet.
Oh,
that
yeah.
I already told you last week I wanted to talk about. It's more of an obscure story, but it's something I was actually reading up on for about a half hour.
I also have some breaking news that I just received just then, but I'll let you do your story first and then I'll tell mine. Yeah.
So, have you ever heard of the group called Gamergate?
Yeah, I've heard all about Gamergate. It's trash people being trash to each
Basically
other.
a lot of shitty, like, fedora neckbeard gamers.
It's
who, like,
about ethics and journalism. Nah, it's about being shitty to women. I mean,
yeah, it's about being shitty to women. They've
Yeah.
constantly complained about, censoring games. Because, in a lot of games that are originally released in Japan, there's a lot of sexist things that, because of the cultural differences.
it's a culture difference. Like, Japan likes big titties and stuff and looking at asses.
There was one in Xenoblade Chronicles. They had a boob slider where you could literally, the thing you slid over the boobs of a woman and use X-ray vision. Very inappropriate. They took it out.
Yeah.
So this woman, Alison Rapp, she was a representative for Nintendo. And basically since her doing a couple of things like that, having input in censoring some of these games when they
was
came
it like
to...
said that she was censoring it, or was it like just a
Well,
company she was working for?
She was one of the people, like, for starters, because obviously not one person can just say I want to censor this and it happens. It's a big group decision amongst Nintendo.
Yeah.
But she was a spokesperson, so she was like the face.
Yeah.
So, and Gamergate started targeting her, say because of all that, because she was censoring stuff, and she was, she tweeted on Twitter about. Of course, she tweeted on Twitter about feminist
What else
stuff.
you do on Twitter?
She's a feminist, so she was saying stuff like, "I want more women in the game industry. I want, more respect, stuff like that." Obviously, not worded like that, but
Smart
so
stuff that Brett can't say. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, Gamergate started harassing her, and the sad part is Nintendo fucking fired her.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Like, Nintendo is claiming that it's because she had a second job, but she tweeted herself saying in Nintendo's company policies, they say that it's completely fine for us to have a second job. So.
I think it's like there's like wording in there where it's like if you have a second job that counteracts with Nintendo's internal like ethics and policy and I don't know, company moral compass. But
so it's just it's a loss for humanity that because Nintendo has given in. These people were harassing her, and they were harassing Nintendo, and they were harassing her because she was supporting feminists. She was supporting women's rights.
I don't know. I think this whole situation is like I've been trying to read up on it, and like everyone has like saying dumb things, and I think it's all just a clusterfuck. This whole Gamergate situation, I'm surprised it's still like around because it's.
Like,
it's just people being shitty to each other, and like all these people like doxing her, like trying to bring up like old shit where like she'd taken like some sexy photos or something at one point,
there was
and
one
that
thing
got
she
brought
brought
up, and
there was
it's
one
like,
thing she
why
brought
is
up
that
when
relevant in any way? Like,
there was one thing they brought up where when she was in college, she wrote an essay or what do you call it?
Oh, is this the thing where like she wrote an essay about like how culture and like age and sexual interaction in Japan is different, and you can't apply Western senses of right and wrong to Japanese ideology.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She was talking about their sexualization and their cultural differences in that respect.
And then,
which completely right. There is a different
it is different.
culture
Like
over
it
there.
is like some of it's like you can have like an argument or a debate really about it, but like it is different. You can't argue that. But yeah, then people brought up, it's like, oh, that means she must be a pedophile. It's like,
but like, wait. You people are complaining that she is censoring sexualization in games. You're
that's the
complaining
thing
about...
with Gamergate. They don't know what they want. They don't want people fucking with their stuff. I think that's what it comes down to. It's like, if you say, like, they've been doing this thing for a while, where like they've been playing a game and like it's all been like gruff white guys with beards. That's who all the main characters are, and like all the women are like big titties and they're two-dimensional characters. And then you have someone come in and say like, well, what if I want to be represented? What if, we have like maybe a normal looking person in there, or, someone who looks a bit more like
female.
me, people with a bit more kind of normal dimensions. And then you have this subsection. I'm not going to say all gamers because, we're both gamers and doesn't matter. I don't, it used to be like Pac-Man. It doesn't represent me. It doesn't represent you. It doesn't fucking matter. I like if the character is interesting or the game mechanics are fun. Who gives a fuck what the character looks like? Honestly, what was I talking about? I went off on a tangent. Anyway,
that's what we do here on the Pop Culture
Gamergate is
Master
dumb.
Race.
People should calm down. It's just video games. If the story is good and the gameplay is still good, who cares? All right. If you really want to play like the Japanese version of a game where you have like a boob slider, or you can type in a code and they have like skimpy outfits, you can get it the Japanese version.
Order the
Order it
Japanese
online
version.
and stuff. Also,
and if you can't speak Japanese, fucking learn Japanese if you want to.
Exactly. If you're really interested in that, you should put in the effort, learn Japanese. But yeah, like Nintendo, they're mostly like a family company, and if they want to put out more family friendly content, then that's their prerogative, really. And if they want to market it differently to different audiences, also, that is their prerogative.
Well, just at the end of the day, she got fired, and she was getting harassed for months with people saying that all this stuff was just her decision, when obviously it wasn't just her decision. And Nintendo didn't say a thing. Nintendo didn't defend her at all. They just let her take the brunt of it because they weren't getting the brunt of it.
Look, Nintendo... end of the day, they're a company. They have to do what's best for their company. And if someone's coming in and they're bringing in controversy and they just want to like get rid of it, so they're like, fuck off.
Whether or
Not
not
a problem
it's
anymore.
whether or not it's morally right is another discussion, but you're completely right. Maybe it was the best
Because,
decision for them as a business.
and it doesn't matter if like people complain because, for a couple of weeks they'll be like, Nintendo, that was a bad move. And then Nintendo just has to be like, here's Super Mario 12. And they're like, oh, fuck, we love you, Nintendo. Hooray. So
Yeah. There has been quite a few
None
game
of this
developers
matters.
who have spoken out in defense of her, but
I'm
guy-
sorry someone lost their job. That's all I can really say about that. Like,
yeah. Well, and I'm sorry that Gamergate got a win. Anyway, let's move on. What was your breaking news?
let's have some happier news, right? Because
Yes.
that's all.
We got
just,
more happy stuff coming with our last
that's all
story.
just sad and like,
We like to get serious sometimes, and we like to touch on the important topics.
Yeah, let's have some happy news. A few episodes back, I should put in a song from the Alexander Hamilton musical. Did you ever take a listen to that? Did you? Anyway, the listeners probably had to listen to that if you're one of the good ones. Due to popular demand and everyone like streaming the soundtrack and stuff, it is coming to Australia. Yeah.
Hallelujah!
So Australia's getting a bunch of good musical stuff coming in. I'm not entirely sure when it comes, probably like 2017, 2018. But next year we get The Book of Mormon is coming to Australia. I definitely want to see that. And Alexander Hamilton is coming, which is great news because that soundtrack is fucking kick-ass. Even just
There you
listening
go.
to it.
Is that like breaking news like it happened today?
I just looked at it now, so
Well, there you go.
it probably is today.
For once, we're the first people to talk about it.
Yeah, so
Anyway, last story before we move on to trailers. As you all know, last week was April Fool's Day.
yeah, one of the
And-
worst days on the internet because every
you
news story
don't
you
like
look. It's because like all those news websites post things like, "Oh, John Barenfold's getting a Punisher series," and you click on it thinking like, "Wow," and it's like fake. I'm like, oh, and it's like, "Oh, Marvel decides to re-get Fantastic Four." Oh, fake. You're like,
Yeah.
Daredevil season 3 renewed. Here's a teaser. Oh, fake. Like, Star Wars is doing a Netflix series. Fake.
If you put aside the disappointment of those ones, which I just ignore everything until it says
all
April
that.
2nd.
I hate it. It's-
But ones that I know are a joke
it's just
are the ones I
so
love.
many lies. Yeah. All right, what good happened?
Okay, here's one that I found hilarious because so many people were actually falling for this one.
Hmm.
Mark Hamill on Twitter, because he plays Luke Skywalker, as we're all aware.
As we should be all
tweeted,
aware.
Yeah, he tweeted that when he gets to 1 million followers, he will give away a secret plot point for Episode 8 of Star Wars. And I saw this, and I thought, that is so an April Fool's joke. But so many people believed it.
Mark Hamill wouldn't lie to us. No.
Like one of the biggest ones I saw was Nerdist. You know, the big website company, whatever, Nerdist. They were tweeting about it, saying "Holy shit," whatever. But it was still the fucking April Fools. That one was funny. You're good there, Aiden?
Yeah, I just received word that 2018. So it's going to London in 2017. 2018, it should come to Australia for Hamilton. So
There you go. Yeah, Mark Hamill on Twitter. I like
my
that.
crack team of researchers.
YouTube Snoop Vision. Did you see that?
No, what was that?
A button appeared, and it was just like a sideways head, and I clicked on it and it went to a video about YouTube announcing Snoop Vision, which was 360 videos of, you had like a viral video here, then you pan around, and there'd be like in a theater with Snoop Dogg, Snoop Dogg reacting to the video.
What?
And there was a playlist of like 20 videos, like these viral videos that were made into 360 videos with Snoop Dogg.
So you could like turn around and like watch Snoop Dogg watching a viral video.
Yeah, and there was like, it wasn't just one Snoop Dogg, it was like 6 Snoop Dogs sitting around.
Also, they'd
in a
like,
theater.
oh,
There was a playlist of like 20 of these videos of Snoop
That is-
Dogg reacting to them.
that is quintessential internet right there, and it's genius
Go-
and funny,
go-
but so dumb, so horrible.
Yeah, it was one of the ones like
Perfect
you
internet
know.
when it's like that. It's like a good pun where like you say it and like everyone else groans and you're just like, ha ha! Except the person laughing is the internet and the person groaning is everybody else.
Yeah, Google is perfect at those kind of April Fool's pranks.
Oh, did you hear about their Gmail one?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that was the one. It got
Tell
like
Ted.
people fired and stuff. So what they did,
Yeah.
they had this button where you could press it, and it was right next to the send button. So that's how people got in trouble. Where like you press it, and it would be like a mic drop. So I'm not going to do it this mic because that's dumb.
It
Yeah.
was like it sent a GIF of a minion doing a mic drop.
Yeah.
And it sent it automatically. It didn't say, "Are you sure you want to send this?"
Yeah, but like
just sent
because it was
it.
like a button right next to send and then mic drop, and they like
Yeah. And if you're like
Put 'em real
us,
close to each
when
other.
you're typing emails, you're an autopilot. You're
Yeah,
not
you just-
looking at this shit.
like the Matrix. But yeah, like it would be so that people would send an email and then you couldn't respond to it at all. Like it would just be like send it into the world. Doesn't matter what people say back because I've dropped the mic. I don't care anymore. But people would send like business emails and like they couldn't respond and stuff, and it was all they.
Yeah. People are talking about
They
suing
were
Google
so
for
angry
it.
about it. Like they took it down pretty quickly. Like that was one of the things. We're like, oh shit, we screwed up. We're real sorry about that. Our bad. So
Yeah. Oh, did you see the one that was like, so it was like experienced real life, and it was like a VR headset. It was just clear plastic, so it was like talking about experiencing real life.
that's great. That's pretty good.
It was a hilarious video. Go look that one up. Also, did you see Cornhub?
I think I heard about it.
Pornhub rebranded its main page to being Cornhub, and it was just all videos of corn. It's just
Were
like
they actually videos of corn, or was it like
actually videos of corn.
Okay, because I was wondering if like I saw like a still, and I was wondering if like if people clicked on it, would it just take them to an actual porn video, or would it like actually be a video of like hot steamy corn, like.
Yeah, and it's like they all had puns in the names, like "big corn gets schlucked"
That's-
or "hot."
That's actually
big
pretty
hot
clever.
corn-
That's-
big hot corn gets buttered.
golf clap to you, Pornhub. That's kind of clever. I appreciate a good pun. Or Netflix. That was
Netflix.
They did the thing with John Stamos.
John Stamos.
Everything was like John
here's the
Stamos
thing,
likes
it's-
this. This would
here's
go
the
well
thing.
with John Stamos.
This is the one that I actually was like, what the fuck is going on for? 'Cause I was watching Netflix.
Yeah.
And I went to my main page, like, comedies John Stamos thinks are funny. Dramas that makes John Stamos feel things that John Stamos hasn't felt in years. And I saw all this. I'm like, who the fuck is John Stamos?
He's the guy from Fuller House. That's who he
I
is.
know now.
Yeah, like
And they released, like, those free videos, like... There was the one where it was like saying that John Stamos was going to get a series on his life.
yeah. Of course,
Then
John
the
Stamos
one
is going to do that.
Then the one which was an obviously fake mobile video of John Stamos
Yeah, I didn't watch.
and the Netflix.
I saw it pop on Facebook, but I didn't watch. Click on it to get the audio. But I saw like
Yeah,
him
it
like
was-
pantsing around. I'm like, that's obviously fake. But good on
Yeah,
them. for
abusing
trying,
people.
adding to the mythology of their joke.
Yeah,
That's all right.
And then the third video was the president of Netflix issuing a formal apology to
John
Stamos for making a joke out of him. Then
That's
just at
great.
the end of the video, it's like John Stamos standing in the corner with his arms crossed, being like,
That's great.
and say you're looking forward to working with me. So Netflix, good on you for that one.
All
I
right.
enjoyed that one.
So that's all our news stories. Do we still do songs? I don't remember.
nah.
No.
I think we just stopped doing
Yeah,
songs.
we stopped doing
just
songs
by-
for 2 episodes, so I feel like, all right, let's get into trailers. All right, we'll do like a half-assed theme song. Trailers, what happened? We won't show them to you, but we'll tell you with the good theme song. All right, there we go. First up, the BFG. This is based on a Roald Dahl book, and it's being directed by Steven Spielberg. And this is the second trailer. The first one was more of a teaser, but this is like a better look we've gotten.
This
at
is
the
a better
film.
look with seeing what's happening.
And at
a
the
little
actual
bit.
giant. It looks delightful. I love
Looks
a good
fun.
Steven Spielberg film. He's a great director, and I sometimes forget that, but I'll like actually go and watch like a Steven Spielberg film, and I'll be like, oh right, this guy's really good. I forgot.
Yeah.
It's easy to forget
It's-
that he's real good
Yeah,
at it.
I do the same thing, but you're right. He is good. He
real good.
does what he does quite well.
Because Saving Private Ryan was on TV the other day, and I watched that again, and that's a real good film.
It is.
It really
Think
is.
about it. Saving Private Ryan was a great film.
So good. Just
Yeah, the BFG. It looks.
it looks fun. I like it. Looks like a good It's reminding me a bit of like Hugo when Martin Scorsese did that.
I'm thinking it reminded me of like the old school Peter Pan live action Peter Pan.
Oh,
I
is
don't
this
know why it's making me feel those feels.
The
but-
one that had Malfoy's dad in it, where like he played like Captain Hook and the dad as well. Yeah. I remember that. No, yeah, I get that. Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah,
Yeah.
good call. No, I want to see it. Do you want to come in and say something? You read the book.
Yes, bring in our special guest.
Hello, everybody. I would just like to say that I am actually a massive fan of the BFG, the book, and the trailer. The only thing I have to say is the snoz cumbers are totally out of proportion for the giant's body.
Well, there you go.
what?
Snoz cumbers, the cucumbers in the trailer, they're snoz cumbers.
The pineapple looking thing, I think,
It was a cucumber
Okay.
it was yellow.
that he was chopping up.
Yeah.
No,
It was
No,
green.
I'm colorblind. I'm sorry. All right, snozzcumbers.
I
Right.
didn't know that.
Anything else you want to say about it?
He's supposed to have really big ears and
They're
they
pretty
look-
big.
No, they're like dishes and she has to sit in them.
Oh. Well, maybe she will. Maybe they're. She can...
Guys, we're witnessing like
The pain. I adored that book and it's just all wrong.
All right, I was more like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Witches. Those were my Roald Dahl books. So.
for those of you who are
Well,
on
there you go.
SoundCloud or iTunes, Aiden's girlfriend just gave him the finger.
That's we've got a quality relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you know it's real?
Right? So that's the BFG. We've got, perspective of two idiots, the perspective of a fan. So make up
Yeah.
your own mind. Go watch the trailer.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I think it seems fine. I'll probably watch it. She'll probably
Now-
drag me to it because she really loves that book and she can tell me it's good or bad.
I'll make you read the book.
Oh, but I'll read a Roald Dahl book. They're like this thin. They're like hand thin. I'll read that.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah.
Anyway, a trailer that I wasn't expecting to enjoy next. I wasn't expecting to enjoy this. War Dogs.
War Dogs, yeah. So this comes from the director of the Hangover trilogy, which isn't always a good sign for me. But I think the thing that's really like making me optimistic about this film is that Adam McKay, who's done a bunch of Will Ferrell movies, last year did a film called The Big Short. I think I told you about that? But yeah, it was
of
really
course.
good. So like it was this kind of serious film about this kind of serious topic, but it got some great performances out of some actors, and it was kind of funny at the same time. So I'm getting that kind of a vibe from this film. Well, like,
Yeah, I was definitely feeling that. I was feeling, it seems like serious in some parts, but it seems like it's funny as well. Because, it's these two actors I was not expecting to see in the same movie.
no,
Miles Teller
and Jonah
and
Hill.
Jonah Hill.
Yeah, like
And
they actually work
What's
really well
this-
together. Like I feel,
yeah,
I've only seen Miles Teller be real good in one thing. It's Whiplash.
Whiplash.
Yeah. But Jonah Hill is like he's really starting to prove himself as like a really great actor. Like he was really good in Wolf
Yeah.
of Wall Street. I haven't
really
seen Moneyball, but I think he was good in that.
yeah, he's really moving out from just being that funny guy actor. He's like Zach Galifianakis
Yeah.
or freaking what's the other? T.J. Miller.
Oh yeah. Well, T.J. Miller,
Then,
he does all right. Like
Oh yeah,
he rests on his laurels, but he's got a real good like diverse like voice acting catalog. What's that?
true.
Filmography. That's the word I'm looking for. So he does all right, but I think Jonah Hill is like really like he stretches himself. He's kind of like John C. Reilly. Like he can do like the comedy and stuff, and he's done some funny films, but he can also like stretch himself dramatically.
Yeah,
That's
and
good character
it seems
comparison.
like this is the kind of film where they're kind of putting those two together. It's kind of going to be a bit serious, but it's kind of going to be a bit funny. And I also want to say Miles Teller looks like he's going to be good in this.
No.
Like, I've seen him in two things. I've seen him in Whiplash, brilliant. Fantastic, garbage.
Yeah. But did you see that statement he put out where like talking about how you work harder on the films that don't turn out good? So I think I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt that, he's a good actor, he's got talent, he's going to do some good stuff. So
Yeah. See, all the actors in Fan Streak, I'm willing to give them a second shot because
Yeah.
I know they're good actors.
They are. They're all
I
good.
blame the direction. I blame the direction
It was
in that film.
direction and studio and just it wasn't. No one knew what they were doing.
Yeah. So I'm willing to give Miles Teller the benefit of the doubt.
Also, as
And
we
I think
we're talking about, Bradley Cooper shows up in this.
yeah, for like a frame. I was like, oh, Bradley Cooper, and he's gone.
Yeah, but like, it remains to be seen whether this will do well because Tina Fey just recently came out with her kind of war comedy film, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, and that isn't doing too well at the box office. But maybe this one, because it's more kind of a bro-y comedy and it seems like it's got a little bit more action in it and it's, you know, very kind of focused on like a true story thing. Maybe people will respond better to that. So who knows?
Yeah.
But
and well, it had some funny moments in the trailer, like the first bit where they're in the Pentagon. They're like, your closest competitor was $53 million more than you. Then just Jonah Hill punching the wall.
yeah, no, it
But,
looks like it could be interesting, and I'm keen to see it. Like, especially if it's based on like a true story, and like I'm always happy to learn about scummy people because they make for interesting movies. That's why Wolf of Wall Street is so good because it's just about the scummiest piece of scum. But the movie
Yeah,
is
it's like
great.
Jordan Belfort. He's like gum on the freaking sidewalk.
I mean, it seems like he's trying to be better now, but he did live a scummy life.
Oh, well, if you look up what he's doing now, he's still having a lot of problems with the IRS because he's meant to be paying back his tax debt, but he keeps finding ways to not fucking do it.
He's smart, you know. Oh, well, scummy people are always going to be scummy. At least he's, you know.
Yeah. Anyway, something really fun that came out recently.
Especially,
Lego Batman.
I was so glad to see this. Like, this was the thing that brought me out of my Batman v Superman funk. Well, like, after that movie...
for like a week, Aiden was like deflated balloon. I was just like avoiding him unless I needed to say something.
was
He was just a deflated
just
balloon.
But, like, the thing that really, like, brought me out, because watching an episode of Flash didn't bring me out, watching an episode of Arrow didn't bring me out, but watching these trailers for Lego Batman, where... like, it's not really the Batman that we need or deserve, but it's like, it's all like the fun that could have been in Batman v Superman is all here. And it's, I think Will Arnett, like, has the potential to be my favorite Batman behind Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, like, those two teaser trailers came out. They're both just short little ones. 1 minute.
Yeah, and they
There was some
both do like
fourth wall
kind of
breaking,
different
which
things.
I
Yeah,
loved.
like the first one that came out was him like just reheating some lobster in the Batcave,
I've earned this today.
and that was kind of funny. But the really funny one was the second one where it's like it's like set in the same continuity as all of the Batman films, where like he's looking up at some paintings of his parents, and he's like, "Oh, hey parents, I saved the city. Think you'd be proud." Alfred sneaks up on him and is like, kicks him into a piano, and it's like, "Were you staring at the paintings again, sir?" I was like, "No." I was like, "Oh, you're going through one of your phases again, just like you did in 2016, 2012, 2008, 2005. And then it mentions like all the years of like every Batman film, and it shows a couple of clips from all of them. So it's like,
Yeah, then that weird one in 1985. In the freaking...
the weird one in the 60s. Yeah. It's like,
it's 60s, yeah.
So good. It's
Yeah, then Batman just somehow breaks into a little rap, and he's just like, "Alfred, were you recording that?"
always be
Like,
recording.
You weren't. Were you? What I tell you, always be recording.
Look, I'm looking forward to this. Like, this was funny. He was one of the funniest parts of the Lego movie, and I'm not
Yes.
entirely sure who's writing or directing this one, but it looks like it has the same style. It's got Will Arnett back, and it's got a great like cast. Like bloody Ray Fiennes, bloody Voldemort as Alfred is perfect. I love the idea of him as Alfred. He's got a great Alfred voice. So no, this could be so much fun, and I'm looking forward to this.
I hope it is.
Yeah.
I'm just seeing, because I saw those two teaser trailers today. I know you posted them on the Facebook page, but I didn't watch them till today. I'm like, oh, this looks good. This looks fun. This looks funny.
I'm looking forward to it, and that's all we have to talk about today. So tell us.
Oh, did you want to talk about the last trailer, Swiss Army Man?
Oh yeah. I forgot. It's not written down here, so I forgot about that.
Yeah, sorry, I put it on my sheet and didn't resend it to you.
So yeah, Swiss Army Man. That's the last trailer we're going to be talking about. This kind of came out of nowhere. It's kind of an independent film. It's got Paul Dano and Daniel Radcliffe, and it's very odd. Is the best way to describe it.
It's the humor is very dark.
dark.
Sorry,
Like
burped.
it's kind of really right up my alley because it's like super dark and like super dark and quirky, kind of like a Wes Anderson vibe, but a little bit more like playful and fun at the same time. So it's like, no, I'm into this. Like basically the premise from the trailer is that Paul Dano is trapped on an island and he is about to kill himself when the dead body of Daniel Radcliffe washes up on the shore, and he basically kind of starts hallucinating Daniel Radcliffe being alive, and there's all these, they go on like all these like adventures around the island, and it's kind of like a character study and like of Paul Dano losing his mind.
Yeah, it seems like that's what it is. It seems like it's really a lot of Paul Dano just being crazy because he's Daniel Radcliffe's body doing these crazy things, like he's karate chopping through entire trees.
I think that's where like the premise of like the title comes in. It's like I've been told it's Swiss Army Man, so that's why he's using Daniel Radcliffe as a Swiss Army knife. So
yeah, and he's chucking through fires. He's doing all this crazy stuff. At one point, Daniel Radcliffe starts vomiting water and he starts drinking it.
Yeah, it's a very odd trailer, but I'm kind of looking forward to it. This is probably going to be one of those indie gems that we get this year. Like last year, I think one of the really like two good indie gems were Me, Earl and the Dying Girl and Dope. And I think that could be this year's kind of version of those. We're like really kind of fun, quirky films. I'm not entirely sure who the director or writer is. It looks like it could be like a first time or someone who's done something like this before. I'm hoping it's a first time because if this is like a first time director doing this looks great.
Very good start. I'm looking forward to see Daniel Radcliffe hopefully giving a good performance again.
He's in a few things this year. I think he's also in that magic movie, the Now You See Me 2 or whatever. Oh. Yeah, like
there you go. Well, I really haven't seen much of Daniel Radcliffe at all since Harry Potter.
He's been doing a lot of Broadway, a lot of like indie films. So he's been out there, but like he hasn't quite done like something mainstream-ish again, which he doesn't need to. He spent like 10 years doing mainstream shit.
He's fucking Harry Potter.
He's Harry Potter, exactly. He doesn't.
He's got his Harry Potter money. He's set for life.
Yeah, he doesn't need to do like a film because like, I need the money. I need to put my name out there. His name's out there. All he needs to do is pick scripts that interest him, which I think that's what he's doing. So good on him.
What Harry Potter wants to be in our movie? Fucking okay.
Yeah, exactly. He'll read a script and be like, I really like this. It might not be the best thing, but he might have something interesting to do in it, or he might find something that's like, well, this is kind of interesting.
Seems like he's at the point where he wants to do more fun, creative things where he can expand himself rather than just doing mainstream stuff to make money and whatever.
Good on him. Let him do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He spent ages as Harry Potter. He can do what he wants.
Exactly. Now. Speaking of doing what we want to do is end the show because that's all the news and trailers we have for you. If you want to talk about anything to us, about anything that we've talked about today, you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/PCMR podcast. You can find us on Twitter. We're on at PCMR podcast. We also have our own personal Twitter accounts if you want to harass us individually. I'm at Aiden's Vlog, AIDANSVLOG.
I am at meman125. As always, you can also send us an email with any business inquiries, any questions, anything you want, really. We'll accept it. The email address is pcmrpodcast@gmail.com. We're on YouTube now.
Yes, we are.
If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you. I hope you love our beautiful faces.
And if you hate it, I completely understand.
Yes. I lied about the beautiful part, but okay. And if you're on SoundCloud or iTunes, thank you too. You're still listening to us. We still love you.
You're one of our favorites. Don't tell the other ones.
This is just for you, whatever platform you're on.
Yeah, so you can, if you want to give us those 5 stars on iTunes, that really helps us out. Also, subscribe if you want to, get this as soon as it's put up. Also, follow us on SoundCloud. Give us that heart. Comment there. Interact with us there. I can see it and I can be like, oh, hello, friends, fans, listeners, whoever you are. I believe that's all our contacts. Next
I
week
think that-
might be another news week. I'm not entirely sure what movies
Maybe.
are coming out.
Well, the Walking Dead just finished its most recent season. We could talk about that.
I'm a season behind. I'll let you know.
Maybe it's a bit much for you to do in a week.
Yeah, it might
Especially
be something else.
Especially considering the slow pace of the first half of the season. At
You know,
least.
we might do another like fun kind of like a retro thing. We'll look at like an old movie or something, or some other TV show or something.
We'll work something
We'll
out.
do something. It'll be fun. We'll surprise you. If you want to keep up with what that might be, follow all our social media. Until then, farewell. See you next time. And thanks for listening, you great bunch of people.
Yes. See you later.
Yeah.
Sexy people.